Viewers and subscribers, welcome back to Beating the Press podcast. I am your host, Rafa. Now, coming up in this evening's podcast, it is Arsenal drawing with Liverpool 0-0. And of course, number of managerial casualties taking place in the EPL as well. Now, joining me this evening for today's episode, we have returning to the podcast, the man, the myth, the legend, Sir Kiri.
Yes, viewers and subscribers. We're glad for the, new year. Just a hope for the best. Everybody, just I wish you safe.
We also have returning the podcast, Christophe.
Good to be back, viewers.
Yes, indeed, gents. It's two big time Arsenal fans. And we saw a massive game this afternoon, Kiri. Arsenal holding on for a draw versus Liverpool. You saw the game. You saw the result. Give us your take on that match.
Um, well, to be honest, I can say Liverpool was the better team on the day, but at the end of the day, you can tell who right now is the bigger team because one team was really disappointed with the draw. So just by that,
Yeah, Liverpool was totally devastated by that draw. I was listening to an interview by Slat Kiri, and the man was totally devastated. He was thinking he left Arsenal, he should have gotten all 3 points. Arsenal seemed quite comfortable getting a draw, it seems. Early time wasting from around the 68th minute. And, they went
Uh,
into a low block that
uh,
and
entire
I'm
second
uh,
not
half.
sure. I'm not
uh,
sure we watched the same match and the
yeah, we probably
same.
we probably watched two different matches because that's
Right,
not
I'm
what
not
I
sure I watched
saw.
the same match still, but
Because I
I can't tell
saw
about the match I watch.
I saw
So,
heavy time wasting from Liverpool.
Mm. What about the defensive structure that we saw Arsenal going in come second half? I mean, it was Arsenal dominating in the first half. It seemed as if Arteta went in at halftime and gave the guys the talk. Hey, let's play behind the ball. Let's defend it out. And it was the reverse. It was Liverpool who dominated the second half. Arsenal pretty much
Well,
going into a deep low block situation.
I
no, no. Liverpool, grant you, Liverpool was on the front foot. That I'll give you. Liverpool was on the front foot. And when a team is on the front foot, what do? You have to defend. But just by the substitutions that were made, it showed that Arsenal wanted to win.
No, not at
Because,
all. Not at all. The subs
no,
showed that Arsenal wanted to consolidate. Why would you
no,
then take off Odegaard to bring on an Eze? Why not keep your most attacking players
because,
on the pitch?
no,
It should have been a Zubemendi probably coming off
all the
for Eze.
substitutes were basically like for like.
Yeah,
There was
so that doesn't show
no,
that Arsenal
there
is
wasn't
pushing for any
Odegaard
win.
coming out. If Odegaard came off and he threw on another defensive midfielder, if he threw on Merino or a substitute like that, then I would say okay, they're going for the draw to close out the game.
no,
But
I wouldn't. In the
he
case,
puts on Martinelli, he
I
puts
think
on
Marine
Noni,
is
he
a bad
puts on
example.
attacking players.
Yeah, he's
Attacking
a
players
Marino,
came on into
Arsenal's
the game.
most prolific scorer right now.
Yeah, Marina is a bad example, given that Marina is basically a striker.
Yeah, and Arsenal
No,
top
but
scorer.
it all depends on, remember, Marino comes on for the past couple games. Marino come on a substitute. He did not come on to strike.
No, he
He
did not
comes
come out
on to
to.
go into the
In
midfield.
in this game, however, late in the game, Arteta brought on not late, but 65th minute he brought on Martinelli and Jesus, which I thought were good players to bring up. I feel like he should have potentially brought on Marino and put him in the box as a centre forward because you would then get headers in there. You're not going to get headers from a Jesus per se. I
Oh, so
mean,
you're questioning that substitution then?
not
You're
no, not
thinking Mourinho would have probably been better suited to replace Gokires, who is obviously misfiring all season.
Uh, probably for this game, because again, you
Mm.
would get those. You would be able to then swing crosses into the box, and you have somebody onto them.
Are
Um,
those plays from corners?
well, Arsenal only got one corner. Liverpool did a very good job preventing Arsenal from getting any set pieces in the game, and
Well, that seemed to be the best way to stop Arsenal these days. I
it
mean,
was
set piece FC.
it was
If you prevent the
it
set pieces,
was
you have a good chance of beating this
it
Arsenal team.
it was definitely a very, very good tactic because we even see the one set piece where Arsenal get the last kick of the game was almost a winning goal. So if
Mm.
Arsenal had gotten more set pieces in that game, they might have scored some goals
No,
from
well, I
them.
mean, obviously that would have been a tactic from the Liverpool team in general. They know Arsenal is a threat from set plays. They would have definitely been working on defending corners, free kicks, etc., leading up into this game. And to only concede one would have been an unbelievable achievement. It would have been totally devastating if from the one corner they would have conceded a goal. But I mean, so said, so done. It ended 0-0.
Uh, uh,
Personally, Kerry, watching that game, I did not see champions playing that much. I saw a timid team who went into the half drawing and decided to consolidate their position rather than take the risk and go for the win. Because to me, Kerry, if Arsenal had gotten all 3 points this evening, it would have been game set match on the title. That would have totally deflated Man City
it
and put
would not
Arsenal
it
eight
I
points ahead.
it would not
even if
have
it was
been game
eight
set
points ahead,
match.
we couldn't call a game set match. Even if it was 8 points ahead.
It,
We
Yes,
have
man.
seen
So you're
no,
saying Arsenal, you expect Arsenal to throw away an 8 point lead?
a, a,
Is that
couple,
what you're telling me?
a couple seasons ago, Liverpool was what 8 or 9 points clear at the top of the table
No,
in
man. We're talking
April.
about
No,
Arsenal,
no, no, no,
man,
no, no,
and
no,
how
no, no,
Arsenal are
no, no.
playing.
We are halfway through the season at the moment. Had Arsenal
Well,
won this game, they
a little over halfway, but
just,
halfway. We
just
are
just a
halfway.
game.
We
Just
are
a
halfway.
game.
Just a game. We're halfway through
mm,
the season. Arsenal won this game, they would have been 8 points clear. A couple seasons ago, Klopp's last season, Liverpool was 8 or 9 points clear in April and lost the title. So explain that to me.
no, man, it's a
In
different ball
April.
game.
In April.
Different ball game, Kirill.
Not in
Look at this
January. In
Arsenal team,
April.
man. Yeah, well, the answer is simple. Squad depth. I mean, Liverpool was devastated by injury. We had under 21s playing
Hold
against
on.
Chelsea in a final
Hold on.
and
Hold
still
on.
getting the better of them,
All
Kiri.
right. All right.
The team was down to bare bones,
Let me
literally
ask you a
bare
question.
bones.
Let me ask you a
Arsenal have
question.
an international for every position in their squad currently.
Let me ask
They
you a
have the
question.
best defense in the league.
In
And you're
Europe,
telling me you're scared of you're concerned about losing an 8 point
let,
lead
let,
if
let,
it
let,
was to go to eight?
let me
Come
ask you
on,
a
man.
question.
That's not the reason from champions.
Let me ask you a question. Right now, you are complaining about injuries. Last season, when Arsenal had more injuries than anybody else, you said Arsenal didn't have anything to
No, I'm
complain
not
about.
complaining about injuries. I'm giving you the rationale as to why Liverpool lost in that year you asked for. It was injuries. It was
Liverpool,
Liverpool having to play under
Liverpool
21 scary
was
in a
8 points
final.
clear in
And yet we
April,
still came out winners in that
competing
final,
for
might I add.
four pieces of silverware and proceeded to drop out all of them in one
No,
week.
I can't believe you're questioning having an 8 point lead and worried about losing that lead. That's not the mentality of champions. To me,
Who,
this is the mentality which Arsenal is currently displaying.
was
Scared. They're running scared.
who is worried about losing that 8 point lead?
No, but I'm saying to me,
I'm
this
asking
is the
you.
prime opportunity.
Pause.
City has drawn three in a row.
Who is
Aston Villa
scared?
drew. You're playing at
Who
home against a attacking less Liverpool.
let me
None of
let me
Liverpool's
let,
first
let
choice
me
attackers were on the field.
let you
And
right
as a
now
result,
what
you
you are
took a
doing.
defensive approach. Come on, man.
You what
This team not serious, man.
you're taking flowers away from Slot. You're taking flowers away from Slot.
Well, I'm just saying.
I think Arteta was outcoached today by Slot.
Mm.
Slot
Talk to us about that.
Slot took a page out of Pep Guardiola's book. What Liverpool came and played today was the same thing that Guardiola did at the Emirates. He first half he decided to low block, mid to low block, which gave Arsenal a lot of space to attack. Right? He was trying to potentially get a goal on the counter attack in the first half. Didn't work. So
Which
second
nearly
half,
happened. Bradley
yeah,
hitting that bar.
yeah, nearly hammered, didn't
It
work.
was almost a perfect plan.
Yeah, yes. Almost a perfect plan. Didn't work. Arsenal had a couple of good chances in the first half. Also, they did not score on their own fault. You know, where I always say goals that don't score get scored on you, but neither team scored in this game. So second half, I can't say that I know that what Arteta told them, but I highly
I
doubt.
can tell you what he said
I
in
I
that dressing room.
I
Play
highly
defensive.
doubt. I
He
highly
had
doubt.
two number six carry. Zubimendi and Rice playing a double pivot
I
defensive midfield role. Come
highly,
on, man.
as
You're
I
not
said,
serious about winning
I
titles.
I'm not done telling you what happened in the game. I highly doubt Arteta told him to defend because all of his substitutions were attacking substitutions.
Like for like. No, like for
No
like
defensive
subs.
substitutions,
Like for
Sama.
like
But
subs.
that
He
that
didn't
being
take
said,
off a defender and bring on an attacker. It was like for like subs.
the second half, Liverpool was excellent tactically. Liverpool clogged the midfield, forced Arsenal to go wide, and then was very aggressive on the wide players, doubling up and tripling up on them, and it prevented Arsenal from playing.
Yeah, I mean, Saka
It,
had to be hauled off. I mean,
it
Kirkes
was
had
it,
him
it
in his
was
pocket
in
that
my
entire second half
in my
until he was
opinion,
hauled off, Gary.
it was Kirk has had what?
Yeah, that second half, Kirkes had Saka in his back pocket. He had
Anyway,
to be hauled off by the coach. Tackles were flying from Kirkes at left back versus Saka. Come on, man. You have to call a spade a
I
spade. To
I
me,
I,
It
Arsenal
was
saw the opportunity for a draw and took it. It's as
Rafa.
simple as that.
All I
I
can say about the match, it was a tale of two halves. In the first half, Arsenal went at it. Second half, Liverpool went at it.
But I'm
The
telling you the
sport, the
reason
spoils
for
were
it,
shared.
Kerry. Kerry, I'm telling you the reason for it. I fully agree with you, you know. But the reason why Liverpool went at it the second half is because Arsenal took a defensive approach the second half. Rather than go for the win, they decided to hold out for a draw. It's as simple as that. It's not
No,
rocket
no.
science. To
Honestly,
me,
I think
if
they
they
were
had
just
gone
pinned
for the
down.
3 points, Kerry, and end up with a draw, to me, it's worth the risk. Going eight, going 8 points ahead is worth the risk, especially playing at home.
No, and that much I can agree with, and that much I can agree with. But I wouldn't say the mindset coming out was okay. We're going to come out to defend. I just think that in the first 5 minutes, what Liverpool displayed, I don't think Arsenal was ready for that. I don't think they were ready for that, and I think they were
exactly.
just pinned
I
back.
I think that's
And
what happened.
right, they were just pinned back, and at
Liv
that point,
Liverpool played a better
Liverpool
half. They
found a groove that Arsenal just could not stop. I think that's just all that happened. I think that's just all that
I
happened.
guess
I don't
we'll
think it was
agree to
okay, let's
disagree, you know.
defend and whatever. But it
It,
wasn't for me, it was a match where, in the grand scheme of things, going 8 points clear, of course, would be better. But you're still 6 points clear. Don't
that's
ex
just two games.
right, but at this, for me, I'm just I tell you from my perspective, you're 6 points clear, 20 games gone, Man City leaking goals. You should
I
go out
mean,
and you
Man City is strengthening. They have brought in a defender and they have now secured the signature of Semenyo.
still
So,
doesn't matter.
so
No, I
City is
don't.
strengthening. They're strengthening
But what, not listen to
attacking
me,
wise
Rafa.
and defensively as
It
well.
doesn't matter who Man City brings in at this point. Arsenal has the better squad.
Or so Arsenal for the title then.
So I believe 6 points clear at this point. You should go on
Arsenal
and
is
go
a
win the
lock for
title.
the title then, Kiri.
I believe that you should go on and win the title. That is just my
All
belief
right,
at this
all
point.
right. That's all I want to hear.
In the grand
Arsenal is
scheme,
a lock for the title.
right? In the grand scheme of things, you would have wanted the 8 points clear. That's just reality. But looking at the bigger picture, you're still 6 points clear.
I
Go
personally
for the win.
feel this is a missed opportunity for Arsenal, and come end of the season, they will look back and realize this was a missed opportunity when Man City is hoisting that trophy over there at the Etihad. That's just my personal feeling. I saw a nervous, tense Arsenal team in that second half. You could feel, what should I say, the nervousness in the stadium from the
I
fans as well
agree
as
with
the
that.
players.
I agree with that, but that was down to Liverpool's play. I don't. I
Right.
again.
I just believe that in the
Mikel
second
Arteta did
half,
not send them out there to draw
Arsenal
the game.
Arsenal was just, from my point of view, Arsenal was just outcoached in the second half. I don't think it was we're going in for a low block. I just think that Liverpool came out all guns blazing. Ryan Gravenberch, he had an excellent game. I think this
Man
was
of the
probably
match
his
then.
I think this was his best game of the season.
Man of the match.
Right. I think this was his best game of the season.
Mm.
With his play, and kudos to Kirkes because Kirkes has been suspect for the previous
Yeah, I
19
mean, it,
games.
it forced Saka off.
But he, especially in the second half, because in the first half, Saka got the upper hand on him one and two times. But in the second half, he came out, he
He
held
was a different
Saka.
player.
He was a
Different
different
player.
player. So I just believe that the gear that Liverpool came out in caught Arsenal off guard.
Mm.
And that was that. But
Oh,
it doesn't,
well,
at this point, I just believe you're 6 points clear. You have the better squad, you have the better team. Go out and win
mm.
the championship.
All
That's
right.
all. Just go win the
We
EPL.
we move then, Kira. We move, and we
Right. At
move.
that point, just win no matter what has happened today. Whether we were 8 points clear, 6 points clear, even if we lost the match and 5 points clear, you're in a position go and win the league.
All right. That's the call. We move to managerial casualties, Christoph Kiri. We move Chelsea, getting rid of their coach, and of course, we did a deep dive on Manchester United in a previous episode. They also getting rid of their coach. But let's start over there at Chelsea, Christoph. What's your take on Maraska being fired and the hiring of the new coach? What's your take on that? We saw a caretaker in defeated by Fulham in the previous game. I believe come next match day, it should be the newly appointed coach, Rosinha, to take charge of that team. What's your feeling on his appointment and Chelsea in general going forward?
Um, obviously the Chelsea fans will probably say, their team, are still, given that they won the Club World Cup and whatever it was, Europa Conference, Confederate,
Europa
whatever.
Conference League, Europa Conference League.
What
Put some
what
put some respect on that trophy, man.
what respect exactly? I
Put some.
think
It's still a piece of silverware, you know. Maraska will say he left Chelsea with two medals, and he's speaking facts.
they can for a team that spent $2 billion on players to be in the third division of
Well, you
European
have to
competition.
play what's in front of you. That's where they qualified. So where they,
For
if they
for
were to lose that conference
for
league, we would hear the narrative as well, Kerry.
no, yeah, you would definitely.
So you have to beat who they place in front of you, which
Uh,
to credit
uh,
Chelsea's credit, they did.
anyway, moving on. For a team that has a 2 billion, $3 billion squad, whatever their reason is, I think removing Maraska at this point, there's a question mark for me. Was it the couple of draws that you had that you decided to put him out, or were there troubles brewing from before that you decided, it's time for him to go or whatever? My understanding is that there was some discourse between the manager and the higher ups as regards to players that he could play and not play. He must have said that he wanted to play Cole Palmer in a game, and they told him no, and that is what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. You know, and that became a bigger issue or whatever, given that Chelsea has adopted the model of head coach and no longer managers, I guess. You know. Same thing at Man U, head coach and not manager.
Right. Kerry, what's your take? I mean, good appointment, the replacement Rosinha. What's your evaluation? I mean, hasn't yet taken charge of a game, but is he the sort of manager you would think will lead Chelsea to the promised land?
I don't think so. But this is just the structure of Chelsea over the past decade or so. Rotating manager. I believe it will win your cup games. Cause you know how cup games are. You know how cup games set up.
I'm
But
not
I
sure.
don't
How,
think
how are they set up, Kerry?
a cup game you
Arsenal
can.
is Arsenal is yet to win the Champions League and it's a cup. So
Right. But a cup
oh,
game is different from a league. In the league, you need some form of consistency. You need some
right.
form of culture. Chelsea does not have that culture. So
Mm,
going into a cup game, you can be on a good run of form and you're going to win the cup.
okay. So you're saying akin to winning the Club World Cup, for example.
Right. And that's just what it is. So a
With
manager will come
So
in, win a cup game,
with cup
win few.
games, anybody can win. Right?
Anybody can win.
You don't need to win
That's just
every
how it
game.
is.
You don't need to be the best. You just need to win the games that matter.
That's all. Yeah, you show up
Right?
on a day
so
and
you're
you
saying you're writing Chelsea off as potential EPL winners under this coach.
for the foreseeable future, yes.
Wow, wow,
For the
wow.
foreseeable
That's a
future.
big call there without even seeing this man in charge of a game, Chris. He could yet come good. I mean,
And
I
that it
personally want to give him the benefit of the doubt, give him an opportunity. I love to see young coaches coming into the league and taking over from the old heads. You know, they bring a level of freshness and youthful exuberance, and hopefully this coach can put that on display, taking charge of a young budding Chelsea squad as well. I mean, lots of money was invested, and possibly it's a case of just getting the right combination of players to get the job done. Who to tell? Cole Palmer is their talisman, but you have a number of other quality players who can
it,
probably create a team around him.
it seems more of a yes man hire.
A
Chelsea
yes
just
man hire.
yeah man, Chelsea needs someone
What do
who
you mean
just
by that?
yeah, Chelsea needs someone who just really this is what management says. You agree with it, you go out, you try win some games. Whatever management says that's how it goes.
What do you
Because
mean, whatever management says, though? Are you saying the owner is picking the teams?
I wouldn't say the owner picking the teams, but they have a heavy say versus other clubs. For
Mm.
example, Arsenal, Man City. How often do we hear the managers or the persons who own the teams having a heavy say in how Pep picks his team, the tactics Pep use, how Pep go about the
Well, I'm
game?
not sure that is the case with Chelsea.
We have seen many reports. We have seen
Mm.
many reports.
I
Manage
personally I personally haven't seen any report that says management is picking teams. I think the coach who
I didn't
prepares
say
the team
notice I didn't say pick teams, but they have a
are
heavy say
having
in
an
who
influence.
influence on who the club brings in,
Well, no,
who
not
who they
necessarily who
want to be
comes in,
playing,
but
all
in
of that.
terms of picking a team. I mean, it's a difference between recruiting players per se versus picking a team. I mean, that's a different ballgame. I don't think any top class manager is going to prepare a team for the week and then come Saturday or Sunday, you're told XYZ player should start and XYZ player should be on the bench. I
But
don't think that is the case. Probably it's
w-
with the recruiting
with
that
with
there's
with
not much control over
with
recruitment of players.
with
Right, and
Chelsea, I
that's what I'm
mean,
saying. The management have a heavy say in a lot of footballing aspect at Chelsea
Well,
versus
I mean, I can
other
understand that.
top clubs.
Yeah, I can understand that. And I
Right,
mean,
so
managers
the,
going into the club would have been aware of this as well. Much like we are aware, I'm sure the manager who is going in is aware of this, that his hands may be tied in terms of who Chelsea recruits. It might not necessarily be players he personally handpicks.
right. So and that's what I'm saying. So every manager that a lot of managers would say go there. At some point, both heads they just leave, and that's how it has been. It's Chelsea. It seems to be Chelsea's culture at this point. So. It is what it is. It honestly, it's not a bother of mine. They do whatever they please. But I just think that with this formula, it's very hard to win the league. As I said, maybe the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, but to win the league, we see
What
teams
about
need
the
a
Champions
culture,
League?
consistency. Don't see that coming from Chelsea.
You
But
don't see Chelsea winning the Champions League either.
no,
But that's a cup.
right, but the Champions League is kind of harder to get to than the FA Cup, if we're being honest, especially with the new structure. Remember, there's a new
Well,
structure to the
well,
to the
the
well.
the
Champions
the
League.
the new Champions League structure has made it harder for
There's a new
smaller
structure to the
teams to
Champions
win.
League where there's a league phase to it. There's a league phase to it. So
Right?
that structure
Yeah,
kind
to
of makes it a
me,
bit difficult
no, I
than
think it's easier to qualify for the knockout stages now in the Champions League based on this new format. To me, it's easier to qualify. I mean, the top 25 teams go through, and then the top eight get a bye into the knockout phase. To
right.
me,
So
it's
it,
easier than the
no,
old format when you have two teams from each group going through.
I think it poses more challenge. That's just my personal
I
view. I think
I
it poses
like
more
it in
challenge.
terms of the variety of matchups. So I like that personally
Right.
because you'll see you're not seeing the same teams being pitted against each other year after year. So I love the variety. But to me, in my opinion, it's easier to qualify for the knockout phases because what? It's the top, is it the top 24 teams?
But
And
then
then
from
the
from
the
nine to 24, they have to go play off against each other.
right, which is fine. I mean,
So I think for me that's the aspect that make it a bit more tricky because on a
mm,
given day, Chelsea can end up with Madrid, PSG. It becomes more complicated getting to the
not much
quarterfinals.
faith in Chelsea then, Kiri, is what I'm getting from you. Zero
No,
faith
as
in
we
this
said, no,
manager and the prospect of Chelsea winning any major honors, so to speak.
right. Not for me. Not for this
Mm,
season, me and possibly
wow.
next season. But we wish every black man success. It's good to see another young black man in the league. We haven't seen
It
something
could be a
like this.
case of
So
one black man in, one black man out, because there are problems over there as with some as well. That club being led by a black man, Santos, and he is under tremendous pressure in terms of avoiding the relegation. So you move from the top of the table to the relegation zone, and Santos is really finding it hard to come up with wins.
and he may get sacked twice in the same season. So it's
Mm.
not a pretty look. It's not a pretty
Yeah,
look.
well, I've seen where they've started doing some investment in that club. Some recruits coming in. I'm not sure if they're preparing for life in the championship, but there
I,
have been a
I,
few
yeah, it looks
recruits
that
coming
way
in,
still, but West Ham is one of those teams that you love to see in the EPL. They've been around for a while,
They have been relegated in recent times, in all honesty.
right? But they always, the stadium always, the fans love the EPL, they love being there, but we'll probably see them heading back down to the championship.
Wow, wow. Interesting times ahead then. Interesting times ahead indeed.
Because Leeds somehow crawling out, so we have to give credit to Leeds as well. Leeds finding late draws, late wins, things like that, crawling out. So
Mm.
credit to
And
Leeds there.
finding late defeats as well. I mean, Newcastle getting the better of them with the last kick of the ball, winning that game 4-3. So it's a mixed bag for Leeds. I don't think they're out of the woods, but for sure, Wolves is gone, in my
Gone.
opinion.
Gone.
Yeah. The other two slots, those are definitely the slots which are up for grab. One run of bad results could lead you into that relegation zone. And of course, Sir Jeff was on the podcast recently talking about the Manchester United prospects, and he had concerns about United dropping into that relegation zone as well, because between 6th and 15 at the time was only separated by 4 points. That's two games, Christoph, Kiri, two losses, and you move from 6th to possibly 14th.
I don't think in our lifetime, or maybe next decade, we will see Man U get relegated. I just don't
Mm.
think it. I
So
don't think
give
it will
us your
happen.
quick take then, Kiri, on the situation over there at Manchester United. Of course, we're quickly running out of time, but
Right.
since we have you available on the podcast, what is your take on the Manchester United situation?
It's another hot mess, but Man U will be what Man U has been for the past couple of seasons. Just a very hot and cold mid-table team. I don't see them cracking the top seven. Maybe finish 8, 7 at best. But that top six, not I don't see Man U cracking into that. They have a good team, I'll give them that, but maybe we won't see a resurgence from them until next season.
Indeed. Christoph, what says you? Your final thoughts as it relates to what you see taking place in the EPL? We have a break coming up this weekend for FA Cup action, but fixtures return next week. So before, give us your take. What do you see happening in the EPL?
I think it was an interesting last two game weeks or game days, so to speak, with majority of the results being draws. I don't
Mhm.
know if that's down to teams being very tired coming off of the festive fixtures, and even these fixtures were a bit congested. But a lot of the big teams will get to have a break on the weekend, I guess, with the FA Cup. They can play their second string or third string players and get some rest for the first team.
Indeed. And Kerry, your final thoughts as we aim to wrap up the podcast. What says you as it relates to what you see taking place in the EPL over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, man, I agree with Christoph. I think it's a good mental and physical break coming up for the weekend. As we said, we expect the second string teams for the bigger clubs that is. For example, Arsenal playing Portsmouth. We don't expect to see the likes of Saka and those guys.
And
You
knowing
know?
Arteta, I
So
wouldn't be surprised.
no, man, I won't I don't expect to see those guys.
He'll,
So
he
it's
will
a good
almost
break.
certainly be on the bench.
Right. So yeah, I think it'll be a
That
good break.
insurance policy, Christoph, always have an insurance policy in his back pocket.
And
Yeah,
then we
I don't
have
know
we have
why.
the EFL next week, I think. And then we have Champions League fixtures the following week. So good break from the EPL, I think. I think Arsenal probably benefit the most from this break.
Well, there you have it, viewers and subscribers. The thoughts from the two main Arsenal interests. Thoughts coming from Christoph, thoughts coming from Kiri, and they are strident in their voicing that Arsenal is the team to beat come end of May. Arsenal will be hoisting the EPL trophy. But thanks again, viewers and subscribers, for tuning in to us here on Beating the Press podcast. Of course, continue to help the channel to grow by sharing, liking, and of course, if you haven't subscribed as yet, hit that subscription bell. But until next time, this is Rafa signing off.